Let's talk about a typical project that you guys do. Take us from beginning to when it's complete. What's the round trip look like?
Sure. So we have a couple projects that we started, I would say, in the last 6 to 12 months that are ground up construction. And the idea is that we'll always we have a pretty close connection with a lot of brokers and people that are selling deals off market or on market. And, we'll look at different sites, we'll analyze them architecturally pretty quickly, and see just, back of the napkin what works and what we can do on a particular site that can make it a little bit more unique than the traditional development. Is it a design aspect? Is it a zoning feature? What can we do to create value where someone else can? So we would look at something and then go through the typical process of underwriting, getting our comps, making sure our numbers make sense. Talking with lenders, kind of seeing where they are. We have a bunch of contractors that we work with. So we'll kind of talk to them. It's like, hey, where are you guys seeing marketing and or market prices, and where do you see things going? And we'll have them bid out the job, and then we'll take it up the track from there. We'll do a lot of the underwriting, or I would say a lot of underwriting, a lot of design before we close on an asset. Traditionally, what happens is when a sponsor or a developer closes on acquisition, then they'll start spending the money to design and get approvals in place. What we'll do is, because we're in-house, once we have a project under contract, we'll spend the money internally to get the project approved during the contract phase. So if the project doesn't close, it's a cost that we eat. But we won't start the process until we feel pretty confident that we're going to be able to close. But we'll get all of that stuff done during, let's say, a 4 to 5 or 6 month contract term, so that the day we close on acquisition and the bank interest meter starts spinning, we're ready to break ground within 2 weeks. We'll have our contractor lined up. We'll have the drawings approved. All of our budget line items will be pretty much locked, so that when investors come in and then we go out to our group of investors to syndicate and see who's interested, a lot of our costs are kind of fixed. We know where the market is from a cost perspective and where sales are. So we lock everything in place, and then we're off to the races. And the plus side of that, what it does is it shaves about 6 to 12 months off a project term. So instead of being a 4-year development, we try to do it traditionally we'll try to do it in about 30 months. That's kind of where our average is for a lot of deals. And I think, with the ground up construction, you get a nice IRR, you get a nice return on your investment, but it's in a shorter period of time. So you get to, investors get to put their capital back to work, and it gets us a chance to kind of move on to new projects and kind of slowly expand the business.
So from the, you mentioned where the investors come in. Let's talk about how this looks from an investor perspective. And what they should expect from their experience as part of the project.
Sure. So, we work with, I think we're about 324 investors that we work with now. We started off friends and family, and they kind of slowly expanded as word grew and as we started to do more work. Now we have a group of investors where, as a deal comes up, we'll post something on our website, on the investor portal. We'll put together an offering, budget information, all the details, and we'll send it out to everyone and just see who's interested. And then we'll raise the commitments. We'll sign a contract on the acquisition of the asset, and then we'll usually call for capital about 2 to 3 weeks before we close. And then we're kind of off to the races. We'll keep investors up to date, with your traditional kind of quarterly reports through the investor portal, K1s that we try to get done by February 15th. That's always kind of our target. I know that's something that I've learned over the years that investors are really want to make sure they get from us. They don't want to be delayed on filing their stuff. And then we'll do annual reporting on the financials of the project, the budget, see how we're doing. And it's been a growing process that we've been going through as we're growing. How to be more transparent? What can we do for more information to keep people in the loop? Just with the project, what we're doing. So we've used the investor portal, on-site visits. People will come by the office. We always welcome everyone if they're New York based or if they're in town, come by, grab a coffee, grab lunch, or come take a look at the site. So it's been a lot of that, just trying to make sure we're effectively communicating. That was one of the big things that I kind of learned, and the team learned of coming out of COVID, was make sure that everyone's kind of knows what's going on, and everyone reads things in the news of things going high, things going low. So you want to always kind of keep everyone in the loop to make sure everyone knows where we are.
The hosts of the White Coat Investor podcast are not licensed accountants, attorneys, or financial advisors. This podcast is free entertainment and information only. It should not be considered professional or personalized financial advice. You should consult the appropriate professional for specific advice relating to your situation.